Music icon Mariah Carey reveals exclusively in this week's People that she was diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder in 2001. The singer-songwriter opening up about her battle with the disease for the very first time with People's Editor-In-Chief Jess Cagle.
Now, Jess is joining us now to break down the story. Thank you for being here, Jess.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's get into this. So Mariah Carey revealed to you she was first diagnosed with bipolar disorder about 17 years ago.
Yeah.
So why now? Why was she ready to share her story?
Well, she wasn't ready to share it for so long because when she was diagnosed, she didn't want to believe it. She really thought that there was going to be a stigma attached. She thought it could maybe end her career. And all of this time, she's also lived in fear that someone was going to expose the secret, right? So it's been very difficult, you know, going untreated, but at times being very high functioning. At other times, there was erratic behavior that we saw, and this is why. She finally, after the last couple of years, which she calls the toughest couple of years that she's been through, she finally came to the conclusion that she really needed to get help. Wow. And so she got therapy. She's on medication. She came to a very, very good place. She says she's surrounding herself with the right people and positive influences. And so she came forward in part to just kind of free herself of this secret so she could stop worrying that someone else was going to expose it. And she had also been very inspired by other celebrities who've come forward with, you know, mental illness and mental health struggles. Yeah. And she's hoping that she can have the same sort of positive impact that they've had for other people.
There's no doubt that she's obviously this icon, and hearing this will help a lot of people. Let's break this down specifically. Mariah Carey was diagnosed with bipolar 2 disorder. It can cause extended periods of depression as well as manic episodes. How did she describe how those episodes felt for her?
She said that the depressive episodes were, you know, periods of loneliness, periods of feeling guilt, feelings of, you know, being very sad. The more manic episodes, because she has bipolar 2, it's really called hypomania. And those are way less severe than the manic episodes associated with bipolar 1, which are, incredibly dangerous. With hypomania, which you have with bipolar 2, they're feelings of sleeplessness, they're feelings of irritability, and feelings of you will sometimes have hyperactivity. With people with, she said that she thought she had a sleep disorder. She thought that she was an insomniac. And it's not like she was laying in bed counting sheep, but she would just work and work and work and work all night until she finally hit a wall.
Wow.
And she realizes now that those episodes were a form of mania. Hypomania is a very dangerous affliction because people don't always know it's a manic episode. They're sleepless, they're working really hard, and it's sometimes very hard to identify.
Dangerous cycle.
Yeah, and after she finally sought treatment, after she told you that these have been the hardest times of her life.
Yeah.
What specifically is she doing for treatment, do you know?
She's on medication. Was not specific about the medication that she's taking. She says that the trouble with finding the right balance in medication is the side effects. She says that what she's on now is working really well for her, and it doesn't make her sluggish or tired or anything like that. She's a big believer in not over-medicating, which I'm sure is helping. As far as then, besides therapy, of course, she's exercising, she's using acupuncture as well, and spending a lot of time with her kids. The best form of therapy for Mariah Carey, she says, is to get back in the studio and make music. And that, even in the years when she was not being treated, that was really her saving grace. Because when she's, with an engineer in the recording studio, making music and singing, she's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of a therapeutic thing for her in some ways. Mariah Carey's not only one of the most obviously successful singer-songwriters of all time, she's also a mom. She has the twins, Merle and Moroccan. Did motherhood affect her decision to speak out publicly in any way?
It's interesting. I think one of the most honest answers that she gave me is when I said, did becoming a mother to these 6-year-old twins impact your decision to get help? And she said no. She said, my kids are everything to me. She says there's no way that they would ever see me having an emotional breakdown or see me sitting around crying. That would just never happen.
Wow.
She shares her kids with ex-husband Nick Cannon. I mean, did she open up about how their co-parenting and relationship is going and how he's helping her through any of this?
She said that they're in a they have a very positive relationship, that they are co-parenting. It's something that she like brought up on her own during the interview. I think she's very proud of her relationship with him, even though the marriage didn't work out. They have a very positive relationship for the sake of those kids. And they, you see them out together sometimes, and they do seem to really be getting along.
Yeah, and anytime he's been in here talking about their relationship, it's always very positive. Look,
Yeah.
it's one thing for fans to hear about this, and I think to many fans this comes as a shock, this news about Mariah Carey, but also the world of Hollywood. Look, you've got other stars like Demi Lovato, Catherine Zeta-Jones that have been open about their battles with bipolar disorder as well. How do you think the entertainment world is going to respond to this news from Mariah Carey?
I think people in the show business community are going to be really supportive of her. I think a lot of people in the entertainment industry have such a tremendous amount of respect for Mariah as an artist and as a businesswoman that they're going to be very happy for her that she has set herself free of this secret. They're going to be very happy for her that she's getting the treatment that she needs.
Yeah.
And I think that ultimately, while Mariah was afraid that there was going to be a stigma attached to this, in fact, this is going to be great for her, because I think for a lot of people like us, it's going to explain some of the behavior. It's going to explain what she went through. It's going to give us a new respect for just how honestly and eloquently she tells the story in this interview. But also, it's going to set her free to get back in the studio and make music and that kind of thing. And I think she's going to be very careful in the future about the kind of people she surrounds herself with. And she realizes that her priority, besides being a mom, is really to be an artist. And she's back in the studio now, working on an album. It'll be out later this year.
Focus on the things
Yeah,
she
I mean,
loves.
I think it's great. I also think that there's gonna be a lot of people that are dealing with similar things and can now relate to her and understand what she's going through. People are already tweeting about it. She's getting a lot of love on Twitter. So let's read a few of these tweets that we're seeing here.
There you go. It says, so proud of Mariah Carey for sharing her struggle. Let's keep moving forward, talking about mental disorders. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something we need to support. I want my children to grow up understanding these things aren't bad. Go Mariah. So you already see people sort of rallying around her and showing support.
Yeah, and here we have this tweet. Thank you for sharing. Truly a privilege to read this, and I know others will come forward.
Yeah. So, Jess, thank you so much for sharing with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And
Thank
obviously
you.
for...
You guys do such a good job.
Oh, stop.
You do.
Stop it.
And my buddy Nathan Turner is going to be on, making some
whole
kind
thing?
of
It's all exciting,
cheesy
yeah.
bread or something. So I'll be
Stick
I'll
around
be
for the
here.
cheesy bread.
Oh, I'm not leaving.
Hey, guys, if you want to find out more about this exclusive with Mariah Carey, you can head to people.com or pick up People on newsstands Friday.